Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Insider, Steelers' next choice is Jameis Winston. Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Steelers have landed their first quarterback of the offseason, signing former Steeler Mason Rudolph to a 2-year deal. That being said, the starting job is still up for grabs for the team, leading to the team still pursuing the preeminent name in Aaron Rodgers. Latest reports said that the Steelers were fully in on Rodgers, leading the decision to fall within the hands of Rodgers. While the Steelers wait, people have waited other options for the team. Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio has suggested another option if Rodgers does not work out in former Cleveland Browns quarterback Jameis Winston. Winston took over the starting job in Cleveland last season following a season-ending injury to Deshaun Watson, leading to a roller coaster of play by Winston. On the latest episode of Pro Football Talk with Chris Sims, Florio spoke about why he believes Winston is a good fit in Pittsburgh. "I know they're gonna end up with who you think I know," Florio said. "I'm looking at him right now. Jameis Winston. If they don't sign Rodgers, they're gonna go with Jameis Winston. Because he can at least get the ball down the field to DK Metcalf. Winston has a strong arm, but it leads to entirely mixed results." Winston set a Cleveland Browns record for passing yards in a single game with 497 as well as 4 touchdowns, but it came in a game where he threw 3 interceptions, 2 of which returned for a touchdown in a 41-32 loss. Winston would be a bit of a surprise for the Steelers, as Russell Wilson has been named an option throughout the offseason. However, if the team really doesn't want Wilson this season, and they are left without Rodgers in 2025, they could look at Winston as competition with Rudolph for the summer. Tim Benz, DK Metcalf proves that $150 million can buy a lot of things, including faith. The Pittsburgh Steelers are paying $150 million to DK Metcalf to catch passes over the next 5 seasons. During his introductory press conference on Thursday, Metcalf may have caught himself in the middle of a quote. When asked about why he felt comfortable enough to sign a long-term deal in Pittsburgh despite an unsettled quarterback situation, Metcalf said, "They made me feel like they had the right decision with who was going to be throwing me the football." Wait. There's been a decision? There was one before Sunday night when the Steelers traded with Seattle and Metcalf's corresponding contractual agreement was constructed? If there was a decision with a QB, has one side or the other changed their minds? Metcalf either immediately realized he had misspoken or that he had said too much because, as he continued his quote, the former Seahawk blurred those lines. "I'm not making the decision in the quarterback room," Metcalf continued. "I'm just going to try to do the best of my abilities to help whoever they have out there throwing the football so they make the correct decisions to bring the quarterback in here. I'm just going to roll with that." Well, whoever they bring in is a long way from "they had the right decision." So perhaps that was merely an understandable slip of the tongue. Or, maybe the answer the whole time has been Mason Rudolph, and we've all just been in an ayahuasca-induced Rodgers Darnold Fields Wilson Stafford haze for weeks. Hey, if Russell Wilson and Kenny Pickett can potentially team up in Cleveland, I'm pretty much convinced that anything is possible. I also asked Metcalf if he got any feedback on playing in Pittsburgh from Wilson since those two have a good relationship dating back to their days as teammates in Seattle. "We haven't talked about his future here. But I talked to Russ yesterday, proposed to my fiancé, and he was the one that connected us. So he was just telling me congratulations," Metcalf revealed. "But last year, halfway through the season, me and Russ had a conversation about how it was living here. He just told me that I would love it here. I wonder if he'd love it even more if the guy who threw him the ball for his first 216 catches as a pro would be the quarterback in 2025. Given their chemistry, that may be the best available option, even above Aaron Rodgers, who appears to be the candidate the Steelers are trying to land." Metcalf also showed little concern about how the chemistry would work with George Pickens in the wide receiver room or with how he'd function in Arthur Smith's offense. "He's a great coach. He's had some exceptional players in Tennessee and last year here. Just looking to put my own mark on his offense," Metcalf said. Just to know George from the little conversations that we had in passing, great player, watching from afar. The receiver coach, Zach Gazani, calls him Freak Show, and I think that's a fitting name for him with the circus catches that he makes. But I'm just here to try to instill any wisdom or any knowledge that he allows me to, and vice versa. Apparently, $150 million buys a lot of faith. Faith in an offense that stumbled in its first year. Faith in a receiving partner who has proven volatile in his first 3 years. Faith in a quarterback room that currently tops out with a guy the franchise has bypassed or turned loose so many times now that I've lost count. This is a historic organization. They've done the recruiting before I even got here, Metcalf added about the QB situation. Whoever wants to come here and try to win as many games as we can, they can join us. As Metcalf mentioned, he got engaged just before arriving in Pittsburgh. Congratulations to him and his fiancée, Normani. It's great that he's found a partner for life. Now, it'd be nice if the Steelers could find him a suitable quarterback for at least the next year. DK Metcalf explains why he isn't worried about Steelers' quarterback situation. DK Metcalf was introduced to the media Thursday after his trade from the Seattle Seahawks to Pittsburgh Steelers became official. He joins George Pickens in what should be one of the NFL's most talented wide receiver duos, but the Steelers' quarterback situation remains a huge question mark. The two QBs to start for Pittsburgh last year, Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, both hit free agency this week. Fields is off to be the presumptive starter for the New York Jets, while Wilson, a former teammate of Metcalf's with the Seahawks, could return. He and former Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers are both in the mix for both the Steelers and New York Giants. One would assume that Metcalf has some real concerns over who will be throwing him the ball this fall, but he says he's putting his faith in coach Mike Tomlin, general manager Omar Khan and the rest of the Pittsburgh brass. When I hopped on the phone with those three great gentlemen, Khan, Tomlin, owner Art Rooney too, they made me feel welcome first off, and secondly, they made me feel like they had the right decision with who was going to be throwing me the football, Metcalf said. I'm not making the decision in the quarterback room, so I'm just going to do the best of abilities to help whoever they have out there throwing the football. They make the correct decisions to bring the quarterback in here, so I'm just going to roll with that. Metcalf said that he was ecstatic to be traded to Pittsburgh, citing his NFL scouting combine meeting with Mike Tomlin, who has long been an admirer of Metcalf, ahead of the 2019 draft. So whether it's Rodgers, Wilson or an unexpected option under center, he trusts the organization to make the call. This is a historic organization. They've done the recruiting before I even got here, so whoever wants to come here and try to win as many games as we can, they can join us. But if not, good luck on the other side. Are you a fan? What do you think about DK Metcalf's situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.